Hello, I'm Mary McCarty. For almost 6 years now, I've been working in the bookstore here at the JRC Retreat Center, reviewing and purchasing books, processing purchases, and trying to create a peaceful and inspiring environment for all of our JRC patrons. I've always been a great reader and have enjoyed surrounding myself with books. So it's been a joy to stock books here and become familiar with some of the Jesuit authors, classic works of spirituality, and works in other traditions as well. Also, inspiring books of poetry and fiction, the writings of Pope Francis and the other popes, lives of the saints, and daily prayer devotionals. When we were fully operating, even though my part-time position brought me here only 10 hours a week, I looked forward to meeting patrons here in the bookstore and helping them find a particular book, or perhaps introducing them to a new author or spiritual program. I can't wait to get back to my job here more fully. What brought me to this position is an interesting story. It was suggested to me by a former teaching colleague who worked here as a temporary part-time job until a replacement was found for the previous manager. And here I am 6 years later and loving it. For 33 years I taught Latin at St. Ignatius College Preparatory, the Jesuit high school in San Francisco. And as a faculty member, I enjoyed yearly retreats here with my colleagues. On these beautiful grounds, we prayed, reflected, and shared our faith. We learned more about each other than we ever could in our day-to-day teaching activities. The first lesson of my Latin 1 class was always teaching them the Jesuit motto, AMDG, Ad Maiorem Dei Gloriam, for the greater glory of God. And the first lesson was the D, Dei, is in the middle of that phrase, just as God is in the middle of everything. Our teaching days were spent soaked in that atmosphere of Ignatian spirituality, being reminded with every class, every meeting, every activity that we were in the presence of God, finding God in all things, being and teaching our students to be persons with and for others. If SI teachers could benefit so much from a retreat here, away from work and home and family responsibilities, even for a few days, I can only imagine how valuable it can be to the general public. In fact, I don't need to imagine it. I've heard from many retreatants as they're leaving what a life-changing experience it has been for them. I remember a particular St. Ignatius faculty retreat here in February of 1986, when I mentioned how hard it was to be away from my new fiancé on Valentine's Day. A colleague pulled me aside into this very bookstore and showed me a book he'd found, Miriam of Nazareth by Anne Johnson, and I still have it here, which includes a lot of prayers about biblical women, and in particular, a Magnificat on betrothal, which moved me so much and expressed my love and joy so much, and my gratitude for him for finding it for me. My husband and I read it together in our wedding ceremony 2 months later. Oddly enough, and the Spirit does work in odd ways, every member of my family has had an experience of this retreat house. Me with my yearly retreats with the SI faculty, my husband with an off-site team building day when he was working for Lockheed. Both of my sons, when they were in high school, had retreats here. Every time I come here, I feel like I'm returning to a spiritual home. I hope, through my work in the bookstore, that I am in some small way helping to create a spiritual home for others. The occasional or regular experience of silence, withdrawal from regular responsibilities, prayerful reading and discussion can renew the soul and reframe our daily experiences as prayerful witness and cooperation with God's plan for the world. I hope you get a chance to find out what that's like here and support our mission. Thank you.